Hello, my beautiful gemstones. Welcome to Chillax and Chat with myself, Ghostdragonzw, and Miss Paranormal Pixie Lara. So, as you can probably hear, my voice is a little messed up still. It started last night during reading, just like last time. It came on like that. Yes, I'm still vaping, but I do have, as suggested by the lovely Lara, some bloodstone. And she recommended I put it within 12 inches of me to work with its energy to try to help clear this up a little bit. I didn't even think of that because it's not that I'm just getting into crystals, but I'm just learning because there are so many. And I've always had like the basics like rose quartz and amethyst and all that. So welcome to the show. We have some things we want to talk about tonight. But as you guys know, the chat can take it literally anywhere. Yes, more horsey voice. And because I put off till tomorrow what I could have done the other day, or put off till tonight, actually, I'm going to be filming Monday's upload after this stream, and this is what you guys are stuck with. So it is what it is, and that's what it is. So I would like to talk about the difference between twin flame, soulmate, karmic partner, and kindred spirit, right? But I just want to put a little disclaimer really quick, and this is before I forget, that what my definition is may be what a lot of the community's definition is, but it's not going to be everybody's because I'm already looking up information, and a lot of people are, even professionals or alleged professionals, are starting off with mixing up twin flame and soulmate. My information comes from spirit and my guides, and just from what I know as far as people that I deal with in energy. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to believe in it yourself. Just go with the flow and hang out. And then Miss Lara has some stuff that her guides were kind of nipping at her to get to, and she's going to bring that to you guys tonight as well. So it's going to be a really great evening. If you guys have any questions, please put them in caps, especially if they're for Lara. I mean, in general, but Lara cannot see the chat and therefore can't really type it. So we'll relay the questions to her, but if we don't answer it, probably means we don't see it. Melissa, I did get your text message. It was either you or the other Melissa, but I saw her in here too. So if that was you, I do plan on getting back to the message after I'm done working tonight or first thing in the morning. Lotus Girl, Pam Smith. Oh, I'm so glad you got to spend the day with your grandbabies. You really, really needed that. And yeah, that's awesome. And I'm really glad to hear it. Lotus Girl, thank you so much for stopping in as always and hanging out with us. Eris, Miss Pixie was here, Andrew and Gnomes, Shelly Montgomery, thank you so much for last night, your generosity. That was really amazing and couldn't have come at a better time. So I really do appreciate what you did for Ghost Dragons and myself last night. So thank you. Multifaceted Jules, good to see you again. Fancy meeting you here. I saw a message from you too, but I didn't get to read it yet. So I'll get to it later. Miss Smoochie, yeah, sure. That's what they all say. Who else? Zerg the Berg. Hi. I'm enjoying the time slot. Nice. I'm glad that you are. I know that you have a little bit of trouble getting into the Wednesday night stream now, but not to fear because we're here on Thursday nights as well. And the pre-recorded upload on Monday. Nutslap will be listening. Thanks for the warning, bruh. Melissa Wiggins, Vixen Doe, hello. And so nice to see all of you. So let me bring in the lovely lady and the man of the hour. And I'm going to, excuse me, do the whole camera switch thing too, which I know people love so much. So here they are.
Merry-go-round time. Merry-go-round time.
Mary. I can't even sing. Why do you gotta put songs in my head making me want to sing? I see how you are.
Hold on, I'll go get you some tea and some lemon.
Yeah. That might actually be a good idea. I'll put some like clear quartz in some tea.
Yep, there you go.
All right, let me switch this real quick. If I don't get it on the second try, we're just going to stay where we are. So, musical boxes.
There you go.
Oh, I did it.
Ta-da!
And
All
Shelly,
right,
thank
so-
you very much, Shelly. That was very sweet of you, hon.
Melissa Wiggins. Yeah, I thought that you didn't want to talk to me anymore after we spoke about the Galactic Federation. And I even mentioned it a few weeks ago. I'm like, I think I might have lost a friend for mentioning the Galactic Federation to her. But I'm glad to see that that is not the case. And I am actually really happy about that because I was feeling very self-conscious about the things that we spoke about and I opened up to you about privately. So yes, Anybody else want to say anything before I just jump in here?
I'm
No,
actually,
go for it, sweetheart.
I'm ready for your subject. This is what I've been looking at.
All right, guys. So the reason I brought this to you, one, I was urged a little bit by my guides and my team, but for the most part, I just wanted people, like even when I'm reading, to really understand that there is a difference and a fairly significant one between twin flame, soulmate, kindred spirit, and karmic partner. Now, like I said, I'm even reading information, available on the internet that has twin flame and soulmate mixed, backwards. But that's just
Yeah.
from my experience and what I know. And depending on what you believe and what you've been through and your experiences and all of these things is what you're going to believe. And that's okay. I'm not trying to change minds. I'm just trying to explain to those who may be open to the explanation. So let's start with the twin flame. Okay. And I'm just going to be reading from some notes that I took. You only get one twin flame. Okay. So your twin flame is who you share your soul with. Most people think that's soulmate because the word soul is there, but soulmate is literally what it is, mate of soul. And we'll get to that when we talk about soulmate. But twin flame, twin, it's the other half of your soul that was born into existence. And it doesn't necessarily even mean, actually, it almost never means that you were born like at the same time, like not like twins being born where you're born at the same place and same time. The relationship is almost always, or 99.9% of the time, extremely intense. It's usually pretty tumultuous. When you meet the person, it's just like instinct. Like you picked up right where you left off, only you feel like you've never met, you literally know you've never met them before, right? But you seem to be picking up where you left off. This doesn't mean it's a negative or abusive relationship. It just means that the purpose of meeting your twin flame and being with them is to ignite a spiritual awakening. Okay. And past traumas are going to be reignited and you're going to be challenged to work through them. But the greatest part is you have your twin flame there who has also been through a lot of those same things. And that's what they're there for. And this is probably the most important spiritual awakening you'll ever have when you meet your twin flame. Do we always meet them? No. But I would say, again, 99.99% of the time, we definitely do. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be with them forever. And in fact, a lot of the times we end up marrying a soulmate rather than a twin flame because twin flame relationships are so difficult and they can be so demanding and so draining that we give up on them. Like we don't want to deal with it. But when we know what we're dealing with, it's like, being armed for battle, right? We know that this is the reason that this relationship exists. Now, this is not, abuse or anything like that. Let's see, what else can I? Okay, so ultimately, you and your twin flame will transform one another toward the ultimate spiritual enlightenment. And, every relationship in our lives has kind of a unique and subjective path that it has to follow. But the twin flame relationship and that journey has kind of this very specific narrative. And each stage of that relationship, and as it progresses, is also a progression from a previous life. It doesn't just end with this life. So if I were with my twin flame and we were having problems and we may not be together forever, but those lessons that we need to learn, if we do not complete learning those specific lessons in this life, we're going to go into next life, meet at whatever time we decide to, and we're going to get right back into it and kind of pick up where we left off. And that happens a lot of the time because, like I said, we don't usually, or I don't want to say usually, we don't always end up marrying the twin flame. So here are the stages. So longing. Before you even meet your twin flame, you will often feel like a part of you is missing or disconnected. In this stage, you may be subconsciously longing for the one and feel like there's another person out there that completes you. A lot of us feel this way. This stage begins the preliminary tasks of discovering deeper self-awareness. So meeting is the most intoxicating stage of the journey, obvi. This is where you and your twin flame meet. Your encounter will be intense, and you will experience a surge of emotions and this kind of odd sense of belonging. Like you belong in the same space as that person. You know it immediately, you recognize it immediately, but you don't know how or why. What follows during this stage is what we know as the honeymoon phase, right? You feel this strong magnetic attraction, this pull toward them. There's just something about them, right? Whether the relationship is platonic or romantic, and like I said, it's almost always romantic. It's very rare that I come across someone who has a platonic twin flame relationship, unless they've already been through the relationship part and decided it wasn't for them and moved on. You'll fall captivated by this person, and you want to be around them, and they want to be around you all the time. Being with this person makes you feel like you are home, complete. And a really important aspect to this, guys, is that they also feel all these things, right? So if they don't feel the same way, if they're not seeming to feel that, then it's probably not a twin flame relationship. Eventually, all the flame it doesn't have to burn out. But when it does, if it does, it will diminish just as intensely. It's kind of like the relationship is so passionate and fiery and maybe even sexual and then all of a sudden you're both like, nah, I'm done. You ever do that? Like you're sick over it for like a week. And then you're kind of like, wow, that was surprisingly easy for me to get over. It's going to take a little longer than that, most likely with your twin flame. And you may very well not even remain friends, but more than likely you will, because you do still have that connection and you do still feel like home to each other. Even if the romantic part, the sexual part isn't there anymore. Not long after the honeymoon phase, you will notice that challenges may arise more frequently and more frequently. They just keep piling up. Your insecurities become heightened and past open wounds and trauma come to the surface. So this point in the relationship is inevitable, and it will be painful. It'll be profoundly uncomfortable, but it's meant to remind you of the inner work you need to do as individuals. And I didn't want to bring my personal twin flame relationship into this, but I feel like I need to, because that last part to be like just struck me. I was like, oh my gosh, dating the fries are done. Like bells went off in my head, where it may be the end of the relationship, it may not, but I know that one thing's for certain. I'll be okay with or without him. I prefer to be with him, of course, because that's my home, literally and figuratively where he is. And also me and my twin flame have a child together. But the main reason that I bring that up is because I've been working on my spiritual self, and I've been working on and being on this journey and helping you guys and coming into my abilities and being a light worker and really soul searching and trying to follow my spiritual path and my destiny, my chart, right? For years now. But I have never been more passionate about my spirituality, about my journey. I've never been more focused. I've never been more just like go, 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 go. There's nothing lazy about my energy anymore. And I am a Pisces sun, Libra moon. I am lazy. Like the definition, there should be my picture, like not anymore. Like since this relationship, I don't want to say ended, because it's in limbo, I guess. But since we broke apart physically, I've never been more into me. I have never been more profoundly dedicated to becoming the best possible human being that I can be. And this would not have happened had that relationship not started to break and fall apart. So remember that your twin flame is a mirror of you, which means sooner or later, your relationship with them will reveal all of the parts of you that you've tried to evade and hide from. You're going to be confronted, like me. I was confronted with my narcissism. I was confronted with my lack of accountability. I was confronted with so many things that I now see for what they really are. And luckily, I was already to a point where I was able to see these things for what they were. And this is why this was so important for me to bring to you guys, because I know a lot of you are going through situations like this. During this stage, it isn't uncommon for one partner to completely and totally and usually very randomly abandon the entire relationship because they're being faced with the bad, for lack of a better word, parts of themselves. So when people think twin flame, they think this igniting, passionate fire, and you're with the love of your life and you never let go and everything is wonderful because you met the other part of yourself. Oh no. But if you can come through this and end up with your twin flame, it's not going to be only be amazing for you in this life. At the end of it all, when you know each other like the back of your hands and you hardly ever argue because you've been there and done that. But in your next life, where it really doesn't mean anything to you now, but in your next life, your meeting is going to be even better and your passion is going to be even more fiery, things like that. But again, you don't have to romantically end up with this person and normally end up with them. I want to say as a definite, you will always end up in some sort of romantic or at the very least sexual relationship with this person. But you don't always have to tend to end up with them. You usually end up, as I said, marrying a soulmate. So the chase occurs when one person is pushing and the other is pulling. And that is the other phase that I'm in right now. There will always be a runner and a chaser. And usually the runner is the one who completely abandoned the relationship because neither of you have matured into your necessary spiritual development. There will be friction and ultimately separation. And that's what I was talking about. If you don't complete all of these phases, if you don't come into that spiritual awakening, it's just going to carry on and you're not going to be able to make it work. So the surrender, here it is. Separation may or may not be permanent, but it's the most important stage. Because it's where you really begin to grow. You're overcome with sadness. You begin to question your passions, your purpose. You may spiral, try desperately to fill the void you felt in being around your twin flame because you are literally missing a part of yourself again. It's like that part was missing, then it was there, and then it was gone again. And it's like, oh my gosh, how do I fill this void? And this is what I was talking about in my case personally. This phase is necessary and is a part of your spiritual growing pain and learning process. Again, if it didn't happen the way it did, I might not be as, or I don't want to say as spiritually mature because that sounds egotistical, but I would not be spiritually maturing the way that I am right now. And then there's a surrender stage where you confront your shadow. You start to feel lighter and more free as you begin to close the wounds that the mirror exposed because you're working with your energy that you used to hide from, your shadow, right? Whether the twin flame is there or not. And that's the point. If you're not both working on it, it's like it might still work, but one of you will always be carrying the other because one of you will always be more spiritually advanced, more spiritually aware. Usually when that's the case, a relationship doesn't work, whether it's a twin flame or not. And then the final stage of the twin flame journey is the most important. The reason I said the most important in every single phase, that wasn't an accident or a mistake. It's because each phase is just as significant and important as the other. During this phase, you'll start to experience a sense of oneness, gain sight of the fact that you're a whole and complete on your own. And the twin flame was actually brought into your life to remind you of that. Like, yes, you're whole and complete as a soul and an ethereal being with them. But as a human being, you're good just the way you are. You're whole all by yourself. And they are too. So whether or not you reunite with your twin flame in this lifetime, it depends on the progression of their spiritual journey as well as yours. But regardless, during this final stage, peace will arise and your full spiritual awakening will begin. So that's the twin flame. And I want to give you two some time to kind of elaborate on that, or if you comment on that. I was not in the chat, so I didn't see questions or anything like that.
Not really any money. Everybody's pretty much listening and chatting. So, actually, so basically, this is
Dragons, you do look particularly studly tonight, honey.
Yes,
Hands
looks
off,
great.
Anyways, I'm turning red now. Now you made me forget what I was going to say.
I'm sorry. He finally was ready to talk.
Welcome to Chill and Chat.
Yeah, I just chilled real fast.
Oh.
Go ahead, sweetie. I'm sorry.
No, actually, basically, what you're saying about the twin flame is that it's a really rough relationship off and on. So basically, you got to be prepared for every moment. With
Yeah,
this.
and sometimes,
Yeah.
unfortunately, your twin flame could be, I don't know, a narcissist. And there's no getting through to them. And they're not going to spiritually evolve in this lifetime because in this lifetime, they contracted themselves to be a narcissist. And what do you do
100%.
with that? Yeah, you know? So
I get
it's
it
not,
now.
it's the most turbulent and traumatic, aside from abusive relationships, which do not occur in twin flame relationships most of the time. I can't speak in definites. I've never seen it happen.
Yeah,
No,
and most often in this day and age, a lot of people, confuse soulmate with twin flame.
And that's why I want, yeah.
Yeah, and during your lifetime, each individual lifetime, you may have multiple soulmates.
That's where we're
I've met
going next.
5 of mine in this lifetime. I married a twin flame, divorced a twin flame,
I think I did too.
married a soulmate. My first husband, unfortunately, died of overdose,
Oh
to
gosh,
the
I'm
best
so
of my
sorry.
knowledge. He wasn't there on his journey, but we were together for a very long time. But I've been 30 years with a soulmate and have met other soulmates. And you get that feeling with a soulmate. There's an attraction there that goes beyond words. And it's not just a physical attraction.
Well, that's where I'm going to go next.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know
and
what's funny is
I want to do
that connection's
piece by piece.
undeniable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's interesting is I'm glad you're doing these because I've had my questions about the 3.
Mhm.
Isn't it 3 of
guys.
them? Huh?
Well, I'm doing 4, but there's normally
Are there 4?
3.
Yeah,
I'm
I thought-
adding one more in there with the karmic partner. And
Okay.
Yes.
the reason I'm adding that in there is because a lot of you right now, and myself, I don't really deal with many people in real life, but I know that if I weren't hermiting, I would be too. A lot of you guys, I've noticed when you come to me or even in the Wednesday night readings, you're all dealing with karmic partners right now. A lot of you
I
are.
agree.
So that's why I wanted to add them in there too. So I'm going to move on to soulmate.
Okay.
And remember, I'm not in chat. So
Yes,
go check
I'm
if you
watching.
see any questions that anyone has.
I am watching. They're still
Okay.
making fun of me.
So I'm sorry. I'm just going through notes. So
You're
That's
fine.
okay, sweetheart. You are fine.
I dropped it. Hold on. There it is. Okay.
Yes, it's true. We will be in many of the chat rooms. I see a lot of you people all over the place.
Yeah.
Even
That's
when
part
I'm
of why,
ghosted.
yeah, being able to be in all those chat rooms with you and everyone else has not only helped me on my journey, but it's opened the doors for me to help others on their journey.
Right. You ready, Gemma?
And
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to keep the ball
hey,
rolling.
Ghost, how's Pops?
Huh? He's good.
How's
He's in here
Pops?
chilling. We're going to get a bigger
Good.
room tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah.
Woohoo.
Bigger
Oh,
room.
good. I needed that.
Bigger room.
Woohoo.
And
I know
you know
you
what?
guys really needed that.
On a good note, we had a rough week last week. Everybody knows that. Bless his heart. We had a good heart-to-heart talk last night. And today, it was like a ball dropped. And the insurance guy
Wonderful.
calls, the workers call. I went and met with people today. So the ball's rolling. So thank God.
Very good.
That's wonderful.
I'm really, I know that you needed that. So guys, I think okay, so I'm just going to go from here. So starting with what a soulmate is not, right? you probably, a lot of people, and some of you guys might already know this. Again, this is just kind of, it comes up a lot, and I'm going to try to make this a little faster because I want to end for 9 and give Lara some time too. But most people think it's your one true love. It's the only person you're meant to be with for the rest of your life. The most intense type of romantic relationship you'll ever have. And honestly, this is like getting more into soul groups and things like that because I lost the page I actually wanted to read from. But there's a group of soul group, which we'll do another time, is a group of souls who we're connected to on a spiritual level. So soulmates are the souls in our soul group. And that's why, like Lara was saying, she's already met 5. There are many, many soulmates. And you usually do end up having romantic relationships with a lot of them or some of them, depending on how much you date, right? But normally, normally the person you end up marrying is a soulmate. If you can get through the turbulence and the spiritual growth and awakening, both of you can, which is so hard, then you'll end up with your twin flame. But more than likely, you're going to end up marrying your soulmate. And if you married your twin flame, good for you, man, because I'm telling you, sometimes I just want to like stick my head under the water and not pull it back up with this person. Like, and I know he feels the same way about me. I know sometimes he just looks at me and like, I don't know, like what the heck am I getting into here? But so the biggest myth about soulmates is usually because, you know, you see it in movies, you know, and I first started understanding this a long time ago because I realized that my first son, my oldest son, Kyle, is definitely a soulmate. He visited me in spirit before he was even born. When I was like 6 years old, and I had him when I was 16. So 10 years before he was even born, he visited me. RJ, my little guy, is my soulmate. So this is kind of how I'll try to explain it a little quicker. You're on the other side, wherever you think that is. I'm going to say heaven just for argument's sake, I guess, but you don't have to believe it's heaven. Wherever you believe you go on the other side, you and this group of souls, your soul group. If the person has already been born, it'll be their higher self that's helping out with this in spirit. You get together, you're writing your chart out, and they'll jump in and say, oh, okay, I'm going to, for instance, my youngest, I'm going to jump in at this time in your life because at this time in your life, it's key that you get off drugs and start moving toward your spiritual journey. Plus, I'll be born to you and your twin flame, so that'll either make or break. And you get all these ideas. With another soulmate that I have, they could come in and be like, oh, okay, at this point in your life, you're going to be really sick and the doctors won't know what it is. So I'm going to come into your life as the doctor who finally figures it out. And then we become friends, things like that. Okay. And that's a very broad definition, but I think most of us can understand the general idea. You're charting your life path with these people. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Gone with the Wind, but Clark Gable, the guy who plays Rhett Butler, I love him. His mother was his soulmate, and she died at childbirth because they knew in spirit that if she were in his life at all, he never would have went on to accomplish the things he would have accomplished because she would have smothered and babied him. Not literally smothered, but like mother smothered him. And he never would have been able to get out and explore and be the person that he was. So sometimes, they could be a parent that's just there to give birth to us. Sometimes a soulmate is, someone that we just meet and there is that instantaneous connection. You feel very comfortable around them. You feel very safe around them. But the main difference there is when you're with your twin flame, you feel home, complete and total home and peace until the fire starts burning up. That's why it's called twin flame. Burns out. Sometimes it becomes a phoenix. Sometimes it doesn't. Let's move into karmic partners. I'm really upset I lost that page on soulmates, but I'll find it again. So karmic partners, same thing. It's a little bit like your soul group that in that it's a group of people who you connect with. But unlike with soulmates, where they're with you, charting your journey, saying, I'm going to step in here and, save you from this or help you get through this or whatever the case may be. Karmic partners are people that you have unfinished business with in a past life. So this isn't like a ghost staying around for a haunting, not that kind of unfinished business, but someone who was a twin flame was always going to be a twin flame. So it's never going to be a twin flame. But say someone that, you chose an exit point, or, I don't know how to explain it energetically, but they come in and out of your life. You may never actually connect with them, but they are someone who seems to kind of always be there on the periphery. And that's because your souls just have this unfinished business of connection. So it says, unlike the soulmate relationship, karmic relationships are not necessarily a smooth journey, but usually very difficult. Whereas soulmate, that's another thing. Soulmate connections are usually generally easy. No relationship has no ups and downs, but soulmates, I would say, are usually pretty easygoing and tame compared to karmic partners and twin flames. So the karmic relationships will teach you lessons along the way. And these are lessons that your soul needs in order to grow. This is where karma, in my opinion, comes in. I always say karma is throughout lifetimes. You're not going to get karma from this lifetime in this lifetime. So the karma, these people are like kind of coming in to make sure that your karmic debts get paid. Okay. Most of the time, there's someone who teaches you something. It doesn't have to be a physical teacher, but it could be someone that you learn a profound lesson or receive a profound message from. Okay. You are going to end up changed and different just by knowing them. All right. So, and I have one more. Sorry, guys.
You're fine.
Here we go. I got it. I think this is the original document I was looking for. Okay. And now let's talk about kindred spirits. This is someone who your soul just vibrates with. Ever met someone like that you just clicked with? Normally, these people are platonic relationships. Again, not saying you can't end up in a sexual, intimate, or romantic relationship with them, but normally you don't. It's someone that just understands you, that, you just kind of want to be around. Your energy is vibrating at the same level at the same time. I believe that these, in my opinion, are completely random meetings. Okay. These are not like karmic partners who, are always on the periphery trying to make sure your karmic lessons are fulfilled. They don't realize, obviously, their humanity doesn't realize that, but their soul does, right? And you do the same for them. But kindred spirits, I believe, are truly accidental meetings of fate. They can be very close friends. They help you get through the struggles. They're always there for you. A lot of the time it's someone's mom. If there are like a mother figure, could be a father figure as well, but a lot of the time it is a maternal sort of energy, yang, right? They're very supportive, very encouraging, and they just lift you up when you're with them. A lot of us, that's why I call us kindred spirits. If we knew each other in real life, maybe we wouldn't get along, all of us, the way that we do now, but I think most of us would. The person who comes to my mind immediately, a lot of you guys are kindred spirits with me, Aunt Edna and Smoochie, Batmom. That's all. I mean, I can name every single person who's in here right now and feel like we're kindred spirits who, because of the internet, we just happen to have this mass meeting of people, right? This mass meeting of minds. You're usually very compatible with them. And there's one more thing on.
Yeah, those are the ones that feel like your tribe.
Yes,
like you could speak to any of them and they would understand your language.
Yes. The one last thing with soulmates is that I'm sorry. This thing is wrong, because in my opinion, it says that soulmates are a rare treasure. It's very rare to meet them. I wouldn't necessarily say that's true, guys. I've met, I think, probably about 5 or 6 as well. And I've recognized them, I guess, because of my abilities instantly as soulmate. But I think even if I didn't have the abilities I have, I really believe that people instantly know. Karmic partners for me are usually people that this is my experience, that I really have a hard time being around. Friends or family members. They're those people that just irritate me the second they walk in the room. I'm always trying to not judge them, right? Because they're always doing crap that I'm like, immediate thought is like, oh, like, how are they? And then I have to catch myself and be like, Gemma, stop judging. Those types of people, the people that like, when they walk in the room, I'm just like, oh, why did so-and-so invite this person? You know, they always have something to say about something that I'm doing. Like, oh, you're wearing pajamas in your stream, or like, oh, you drink way too much Red Bull, you're going to gain that weight back. Or they're that person for me, karmic partners, because they're really testing you. They've got to remember that energy, that soul has been with you throughout lifetimes, you know, having problems. You guys got beef. And the soul's way of dealing with it is, you know, once you come to acceptance of that person truly, completely, and fully, whether you ever befriend them or not, you come to acceptance with whatever it is about that person, that part of yourself you see in them. That's when the karmic debt is paid. And then you don't have to deal with, you know, great aunt Bobo in the next lifetime, because your karmic debt to her is paid. Now, karmic partners, that makes it sound like it's a partnership. Usually it is, where you have a karmic debt to be paid to each other. So someone might come in and say, I don't know, a sister who you really have a sibling rivalry with, a really hard time with. And you know, that's something that something like that would happen when each soul owes the other soul something. Okay. So I hope that I clarified a lot of that for you guys. I know my voice is a little bit annoying and a little rough, but and if you have any more questions, you can always ask me. I'm going to run it over to Stephen one more time. And then Miss Lara has some things that she wants to speak to us about. I'm going to rest my voice unless I have obviously questions for her. And if you have any questions, put them in caps in the chat.
So yeah, I'm trying to get a little more grip. So basically, karma, the current relationship, the karma relationship, and the soulmates are basically the same thing. The only difference is karma is more understanding, where a soulmate will get up in your face and say, "Hey, you need to wake up," blah 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 blah. Where somebody
Backwards. You got it backwards.
Oh, I got it backwards.
Yeah, the soulmate is the patient understanding one. The karma, think of karma. You know how everyone thinks karma.
Okay.
It's spelled Karma, and
I thought I had that
backwards. Yeah, so backwards.
Okay.
Soulmates are usually the most understanding people in your life. If you're connected, you could always have a friend who's understanding, or a family member that you're not soul connected with. But you know what? In your next life, you might be, because your soul made that connection in this life. And that's how we kind of gather so many throughout lifetimes. You will not have a lifetime where you don't meet at least one soulmate.
Okay.
And if you only
and that karmic connection can also be even as simple as someone that maybe it's a coworker, okay, and that coworker that you do jive with, that you do resonate with, is there to maybe they give you a different point of view. They help you grow. They help you learn and move beyond that way of being, that way of thinking. Like she said, whether in my teachings, I've learned that it can also be within this lifetime, not just past lifetime, that there is that lesson to be learned of maybe it's patience, maybe it's kindness, maybe it's simply openness. But that's what that karmic
acceptance,
soulmate, acceptance, exactly.
I know my main person
and growth.
Mine is acceptance and growth. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
The person that I think of when I think of that, this person just, I mean, I can, like, I'm chewing glass every time they're around, and they're learning. It's very blatant and obvious. And I'm not saying this because I'm bragging at all. You know, I try to stay very humble. This person has been jealous of me probably since the second I was born. But I'm finally coming to acceptance of her and understanding maybe why we have this relationship. And I'm learning to appreciate not the drama she brings all the time, but the energy that she brings to my life to really make me say, look, I don't want to be a judgmental being towards anybody, you know, so I have to learn understanding of where she's coming from as well. And that's a hard lesson to learn. Really. You're so right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. One of the hardest there is. And being able to learn that lesson, to, as the saying goes, walk a mile in their shoes and understand that perspective. That may be part of that karmic debt balancing itself out, that lesson being learned. Whereas the soulmate, I mean, I'd love for you to meet my soul sister, Diana. That's that person that it's not that fiery burn like the twin flame, but they do feel like home because they know you. You, I can't count how many times my soul sister and I have shown up to meet to go out on a lunch date, and we're wearing the same shirt. Or we're both
Yeah.
dressed in a
Not even on
we're both
purpose, right?
dressed in a tan top and blue jean shorts and sneakers, because there's that energetic connection of being from the same tribe,
The sameness.
being of this,
Mhm.
being of same mind, being of same energetic frequency. They balance you in a way that is very hard to explain until you've experienced it. But I mean, she and I could go anywhere, do anything together, and always be on the same page. It it's an amazing connection when you have that, and not as many people have that deeper um, soulmate connection in their tribe. But when it does happen, it's a real gem.
It is. It is. Oh, so do you want to move on to your topic tonight, Miss Lara?
Sure, hon. Yeah, if you're ready.
If
So
I get up, I'm gonna go make a tea if my throat starts to hurt. So if you guys see me
yeah,
get off, that's what I'm doing. I'll be back.
no, you do what you, if you need to go right now, hon.
Thank you. No, I'm okay
That's
for
just
now,
fine.
but I might have to.
So one of the things that in my meditations I was picking up on that I need to speak out about is meditation. That it doesn't have to be as hard as some people um, initially think it is. A meditation is a simple stillness. It's understanding that you're bringing all of your thought, all of your focus back in to center. Because, throughout our day, we're, oh, what was that noise? Oh, the cat needs food. Oh, I need to run to the grocery store. Oh, this, oh, that. And we become very energetically scattered. And so being able to meditate brings us back into that center, back into that balance, into that calm. And it can also be an effective way to help with things like anxiety, things like stress. In my case, I started using it years ago to help with chronic pain, and a way to manage that. And so, if it's okay with you, I'd like to go over a couple of very simple meditations. I'm not going to actually try to take people into a meditation, but simply the steps that I would go through.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So, the first one that I learned that really helped me get in touch with my body as far as dealing with chronic pain and understanding that everything that happens within this vessel that I walk around in is controlled by my center, my pineal gland, my brain, my energetic center. And so finding yourself a nice comfy chair or a place to lay down. It can even be, if you've got 5 minutes in the break room to yourself and close the door, close your eyes and take a moment to think about your toes. Can you feel your toes? Do you feel the skin on your toes? Do you feel the texture of your socks that you're wearing or your shoes? or maybe it's the cold air on your feet. Once you feel that, then think about, are they tense? And just think about trying to relax them. And then move your way up to the soles of your feet. Okay, do you feel the soles of your feet? Do you feel, again, the texture, the air? Maybe, it's warm or it's cold. And again, relax them. And do that as you work up your body and talk to self. And you don't have to have the whole conversation. Hello, self. I'm telling you to relax now. You can just say, it's okay. Relax. Breathe. And talk to yourself the way you would a best friend if they were stressed out. Move that meditation all the way up the body. When you get to the torso, to the heart, then think about your hands and relaxing your fingers and just letting them fall comfortably. Work your way up your arms, back into the center, to your thoughts, and release. And that's it. And it can, I usually do it at night when I'm getting ready for sleep, and I will fall asleep so much faster when I do. Especially if I'm having a fibromyalgia flare, because it allows me to focus in on those parts of the body where we take that energetic breath, that sudden, oh gosh, this happened. Because we tend to hold that in. And that energy will sit in our body and actually physically manifest. So it may be, oh God, that guy yelled at me today. And so now we're holding that in the muscles of our shoulders, of our neck, and this allows us a way to just relax and release. Is that making sense to everybody? Would you let Ghost know if it is? Because unfortunately, unless you want to look up my nose, I can't see the screen.
Oh, you're fine. You're doing good.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are saying that maybe you need to make a video yourself doing all this. That way you could be more detailed and don't feel like you have to worry about the chat. That way you can focus on it. That would be that would be really helpful for a lot of people if you just take the time to make the video and do like a series of them. I think you'd get some good views out of that.
Well, and honestly, until I can get some technical help, get my computer set up and do that kind of video, maybe I can get with you and Gemma and we can film something, or I can film something and she can do it as a special guest presentation, meditation by
We'll just
Pixie.
get with her and find out what she says.
Something like that. I'm absolutely would love to do
it's
that.
really easy to upload, and if you take your time, you really don't have to do a whole lot of editing. You can just drop it right in the chat with whatever you record on, right into YouTube, and just pick that date. So it's
maybe
not as
you
hard.
and I can talk together about that, because as far as that goes, that side of YouTube, I am a total greenhorn. I have no clue what I'm doing.
That if I ever do my own channel, to me, editing is nice if you're doing pro, but I think mistakes are what make you. So,
well, and I personally got a lot of experience as far as the video making with a cell phone, and I give gracious thanks to a friend of mine, Barbara Yarnell, who I had the pleasure of studying and being a teacher's assistant with ceramics. Did ceramics here at the college for 12 years and was able to videotape a lot of her sessions in throwing pottery. And you want to talk about something that is absolutely zen? Watch videos of someone drawing up a clay vase on a pottery wheel. It's amazing. So I can certainly do the videos, and if the community says that that's what they would like, I am happy to do that. I wanted to also talk about, um, another meditation that I do is a visualization one that for me, when I'm very anxious, having a lot of anxiety, sorrow, all of those things that deal with the heart chakra, we hold that energetic center here in the middle of our chest, and those emotions come from that area. Gemma, I think you made a post even about how when certain emotions hit, why do I feel it in my chest and in my gut? And
Yes.
it's because that's where those energetic centers sit in our body, those chakras. And those are the ones that control those emotions. And I never put two and two together until recently learning about it. But the meditation that I will do, I have a photograph of a um, balcony picture of a vacation my husband and I took for our 5th anniversary. And we had gone to Hawaii. This picture is looking out the balcony, out over the courtyard to the sandy beach and the ocean beyond. And sometimes, if I'm having trouble making the picture in my head, I'll actually go get the photograph and sit with it. But what I will do, because it's such a warm, happy memory for me, is I will build that picture in my mind as though I'm sitting there. So, and I'm going to do it right now so that you just kind of get the feel for it. I think of the place where I was, what was the temperature around me, which it was really nice, calm breeze. It was like 82 degrees, so it was warm. And I sat out on the balcony and I could see the edge and the railing of the balcony, and I could see over the edge, and there was this beautiful green grass, bright, brilliant green, and I'm used to desert, dull green grass. Beyond that, along the edge, was a hedge of hibiscus in full bloom, great, big, beautiful, bright pink flowers all along this hedge that surrounded this semicircular courtyard. Just beyond that, there was a walk path, and that walk path had a light layer of beach sand on it, so it was soft
So
and
guided
kind of
meditation,
sound.
not to interrupt you, but I didn't want to forget this.
Yeah,
Guided meditation. But I was telling the chat that what you're doing right now is like a guided meditation. So when I
it
tell
is.
you guys listen to guided meditations, they're much easier. As I hear you, I can picture what you're saying, and it would be very
Exactly.
peaceful and relaxing. I just wanted to make that clarification. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but
Oh,
it's
that's
important that they
okay.
understand that that is exactly what a guided meditation would be, should they want to try to listen. And you could, guided meditations, I listen for the first 20 minutes, usually fall asleep, and that's okay too. Yeah.
Absolutely. A
Yeah.
good meditation often will end in sleep
Was
or higher self, the energy, the universe, your angels, guides, however you choose to see it, sometimes will, pardon me, knock your butt out so that you learn the lesson. Because sometimes we get in our own way and it's easier for them to communicate that what we need if we're asleep.
see, this is why I
So
have.
that, yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this is why that I do meditation through Tai Chi because I'm always in motion, and since Tai
Absolutely.
Chi is a form of motion and breathing, that's what only really works for me. And
Hmm.
it's really hard for me to sit down in a room with darkness
Right.
and picture stuff because I'm so in motion 24 hours that some people,
Exactly.
and I know I'm not the only one like that. So it's like really hard for us type of people. So what you do is you find a meditation
That has
may
that
help
motion.
that may help and also work with your your movements, your
Hmm.
way of thinking is always good too. And guided meditations
Absolutely.
they're all over the place.
Yeah.
You just got to
With the
be
meditation I was doing, all you do is you just continue to build on that picture, that snapshot. And so by doing it that way, it can be your son's fourth birthday or watching your dog play in the yard. It's those snapshot moments that bring us happiness, joy, love, peace that you want to use for that guided meditation. And it's simple to do, it's self guided. You can put on music or not, you can sit in silence or not, you can do it while you're walking. You know, you talk about you doing Tai Chi. You can even do the same thing while you're doing Tai Chi. I could absolutely see the Tai Chi movements, and you've got maybe your eyes are closed, maybe they're open, but as you're doing the movements, you're painting that picture around you, creating an energetic field of balance and harmony. I'm hoping that's making sense to everybody.
I get it. Poor Gemma.
Yeah, no, that's all right. One of the other things that I wanted to
People's
touch
typing
base
in the
on.
chat. I'm gonna try to
Oh,
stick to the chat.
you're okay, sweetheart. I just wanted to touch base on is also um, a lot of us are waking up to our abilities and trying to understand them and how to use them, whether it be claircognizance, clairvoyance, discernment, and how do I tap into that? Because you hear it a lot. Tap in. How do I tap in? And what they are describing is um, going into self, going into your inner mind, your inner thoughts, and really feeling into or knowing into that ability. In my case, I have been working on my clairvoyance, clear seeing, um, so that I can give messages to others better. And what I will often do is I'll get an image, say for instance, and I'm going to make this up, pretend, Gemma, you're my client, and as soon as you sit down, I get an image of a man standing behind you. He's wearing a t-shirt, he's got a baseball cap on. I wonder who that could be. And I want to go deeper. I want to get more information, understand what information is coming to me a lot better. Um, by the way, I'm a nerd and a geek and love sci-fi, fantasy, horror, you name it. For those of you out there that have seen Stranger Things and are familiar with Elle, the psychic in the series, one of the things that they do is they put her into a um, deprivation tank, sensory deprivation tank, to heighten her abilities, right? I do a version of that internally in thought. So I'm working with you, Gemma, and I'm going to try to read into it more. I'll close my eyes for a moment, and I imagine myself sitting comfortably in a pool of water. Don't make fun of my kiddie swimming pool. Sitting in a pool of water with lotus blossoms floating on the water around me. And when I want to go deeper in that thought, in that moment, to try to clarify, I will literally envision my hands going into that water and focus on how does that water feel? And then what information do I get? And brings again your thoughts, your focus back into center so that you can focus on the information that you receive. And my whole journey this last 2 years has been stop doubting yourself. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay that, oh, I said he had a red hat. He actually has a blue hat. But I got the information. I got the hat. I was able to maybe explain it in a way that somebody would understand. We got a question?
Yes.
Yes. Shelly wants to know. She says, Miss Gemma, would you have Lara explain to me again what a spiritual guide is, and do I actually have one? So if you want to finish the thought of what you're saying and then move into that, that's however you
Sure.
want to do it. That's fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So again, being able to tap in as far as understanding your abilities, whether it's clear seeing, clear feeling, clear knowing, clear hearing. In my case, I've been really working on my clairaudience because I will get tones that try to say, hey, pay attention. Okay, what does that hey, pay attention mean? Because all I get is the tone. So I'm learning a little bit about the guides. If I understand what she's talking about, spiritual guide can be any of those beings, be it light beings, angels, aliens, past loved ones, animal spirits that connect to us, that watch over us, that help us on our life's journey, that are here to help us along our path. Gemma, you want to elaborate on that?
Well, yeah, I definitely agree. And guides do travel with us throughout lifetime. So guides, just like angels, are not beings that were ever human. Because Shelley was saying that thank you, Three Souls. I appreciate that. Shelley's saying that all she ever gets is, previously deceased people. And
That's okay.
that's a whole different thing, a different vibe, and we can work through that. And I know you get a lot of nasty things, but if we're just focusing on guides, I mean, you can call them in to help with that. I would focus more on calling in angels. A lot of people interchange guides and angels, and they're not technically the same. We might be able to talk about maybe next week the difference. I'm probably going to end this at 9:30 because I'm starting to actually feel bad.
I can tell, honey.
But no, everybody has them, Darling Deb. Everyone, Darling Deb says, does everyone have them or only those with abilities? No, you are born with your spirit guides. They are with you throughout, like I said, throughout lifetimes. It's not
absolutely
like when you pass away, you reach a certain level and get your wings and then you're an angel. It just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. And they are with us from before we are born till after we pass. Now, there may not be the whole kit and caboodle with us 24/7. They may take turns. My grandmother may be with me. She may not be with me tomorrow because maybe she's got other business. And maybe I don't need that guidance that day from her directly. So absolutely, I think we definitely should dive into it deeper. And perhaps that might be something that if you're interested in learning more about who are your specific guides, reach out to Gemma, reach out to me, and we can talk you through how to discern what that might be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sorry, Blue Cross.
Oh, you're okay.
He was like, Gemma Jade, I have a freestanding old-fashioned sunken bathtub, perfect for submersion and bath bombs. You would love it. I'm coming to visit.
We're going to his house.
Yeah, well, he's been inviting me for a long time, but I do not. My wallet was stolen years and years ago, and being an addict, you don't care about things like your ID and whatever.
Right.
But now I regret it because I don't have a photo ID and I can't travel. And I've been wanting to go, but this summer I'm going to make a few stops Yeah, I used to have one of those in one of the apartments I lived in when I was little.
I
Um,
think we need to get you a photo ID, sweetheart.
yeah, I was talking to my mom about it today. I'm like, you used to be able
Yeah,
to just take in your points, go in, and that's why I didn't go to Vegas. I was sick, but also you used to be able to go in, show your points, get your picture taken, leave with the ID. Since the vid in 2020, you now have to
yeah,
go in, do all that, and then wait up to a month to get the ID in the mail.
right.
And that was the issue that I ran into there. So seeing
Well,
you,
we have the same thing here, whether it's with just a regular ID or even a driver's license, anywhere from 2 weeks to a month to
yeah,
get
well,
it.
Damien just
Yeah,
turned 18, so he also has to get his. So I was like, well, he's going to do his, but now also you can't just walk in. You have to make an
right,
appointment at least a week in advance. All the things that all these other states were doing like for decades, New Jersey's
right.
now caught up. And I got spoiled because I'm like, oh, okay, I have some time today. I'll just run to the DMV and renew my license,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work that way anymore. But as soon as I get that, I am planning on traveling. And Blue Cross Roads, you're one of the first people that I'm going to come and see because you're a few hours away from Lotus, and I wanted to go chill in her awesome room that she has waiting for me. And I just have a lot of places to go, and I'm going to be going. And we are doing the cabin thing, by the way.
Oh,
This
very cool. If I'm able to,
yeah,
I would love to be there.
we would love to have
Yeah.
you. We're going to plan it really well, where the only thing you guys pay is a portion, and depending on how many people go, it'll be a small portion of the
Yeah.
cabin. And like your travel expenses, we're going to take care of like barbecuing and
Oh, very cool.
have equipment. You bring equipment, and we're going to do seance for all those mob berry bodied, right? Mob berry bodies. But we're also going to hunt the Jersey Devil and just see what we can find out there. And I think it's going to be an amazing time. I think a lot of us are going to come through for it. We can rent, one cabin for the males, one for the females, however you guys are comfortable. You could bring, we were talking about it, you could bring spouses as long as they're chill in with everything that we're doing. We don't want to have anyone there
Right.
who we're going to make uncomfortable, right? We
Yeah,
don't want to be holding a seance and someone is terrified or someone is deeply religious because we want to respect everybody.
absolutely.
So things like that. So working out the details and starting to work them out now because I want to
Oh,
do one
yeah.
in like late spring and early fall. I want to do two. So
Yeah.
get ready for
Yeah.
that, guys.
Early
That's gonna,
fall would probably, if I'm able to do something like that, would be the better one for myself,
yeah.
just for life in general. And
Hey,
before
so girl,
we wrap things up,
yeah.
Ghost Dragon,
Yes,
Stephen,
ma'am.
so you mentioned that you practice Tai Chi. I
Yes.
would absolutely love to learn more about uh, what practices you do and how you find it beneficial. It's actually
Everyone
something that
just
I'm looking at doing for myself, and there may be others in the community that are interested.
I was gonna make
What?
a joke. I was gonna make a joke. I was like, everyone hitting on my man tonight. But then I didn't want to make him blush again.
Oh, why not? He blushes so pretty.
I know. Nick, you're always welcome to come. You're literally right here, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's close.
Blue Heron, it lives very close to where I live now. Blue, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. She wasn't, for all the things I've sent her and all the times we've communicated, and I've even met her in real life. I didn't have her address. And because at the time
Oh,
she was working late and wasn't coming into stream, it didn't cross my mind when I sent out Christmas cards and Christmas gifts, and I completely blew her off with it. So now that I have her address, I want to send her something, but I just want her to know, like, if you're listening,
She loves you, Blue.
yeah, it wasn't on purpose. I would never do something like that on purpose. So it's been really bothering me lately because she's right here and we could literally get together. But I feel awkward now because I sent to people that like I barely even speak to. But because it was because their addresses were right there in front of me and I just wasn't thinking. So
Now, as for me,
hopefully you guys can come. Ghost Dragons, thank you so much for that lovely super chat. I definitely
aw,
appreciate all donations, guys. You
make
guys
tonight
really,
worth it.
really
gotta
have been
take care of our gem.
Yep.
coming through for me. Definitely been coming through, guys, where I'm able to do this for a living. And I am so grateful for that. You have no idea. So I do appreciate it. So Lara, I kind of cut you off there. But
Oh,
if you
you're
want to
okay.
finish up your final thoughts. I just want to end a little early because I want to go lay down because I do have
Yeah,
Oh,
just need
baby.
rest.
all day tomorrow
I
and the baby. So
Yeah, no, I totally understand. And I was actually going to suggest that we end a little bit early.
Bye.
But
See ya.
yeah, Stephen, bye.
bye.
My
The
dog was standing beside
I'd
me
love to
doing the
talk
great
about it
dog
more.
pee dance. So
Yeah,
And
I made a note of it. So that
and
we can,
again, to the community, to everybody, please, if there's things that you want to know about, or like was mentioned earlier about maybe me going ahead and making a video of a mini guided meditation, let Gemma know. Get a hold of me or Stephen, and we'll try to cover that. Try to help with that. You know,
yeah.
that's our mission. That's what we're all about.
Right. And it's helping us too because we're able to accomplish goals. I know at least for
Right.
me in my spiritual journey. And I told you guys I'd be willing to literally film myself doing yoga for 20 minutes and probably totally embarrass myself. But just to show you guys that it's not easy really for anyone unless you've been doing it for a long time. Everyone looks awkward. Everyone looks weird, So
One other thing. So, and we'll talk about this next time. I'll write it down. But in talking about movement meditation, dance, absolutely dance can be meditating.
it's true.
Uh,
And even with yoga, I've kind of slowed down and
yeah,
started doing, I think it's called hatha. So you hold the poses for longer because I felt like I was being completely rushed through. And by the end of it, I'm like, it's hard
right.
being the same age as old people all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know.
hold
I'm
that one
usually
for
pretty
next
rocked
time.
up.
For sure.
I'm pretty banged up, and I usually move around pretty fast. I think I even scared Giles sometimes.
You should see me chase a cat.
See me chase the sun.
Jules, that's actually a beautiful sentiment. Jules said, I love to dance and I'm never not going to dance. Oh, I'm never going to not dance again. And I'm so glad to hear
Same
you say
here.
that and agree. Miss Lara, I'm going to bring you out, bring Stephen out and
Bye, everybody.
I thank you so much for being with us and we'll see you next week. And
Love and
anything
light.
between, I will reach out to you. Good night, sweetie. Thank you. She's so sweet. I love her.
And I will leave you so you can rest.
Yeah, I will.
Talk
It's
to
not
you.
rest. I have to film Monday's video.
I know, but
I must. I have to do it.
just drink that tea and
I will.
take it
That's
slow.
actually Shauna's hot
Go with
toddy.
the flow. I know.
Hot toddy from Shauna with a Lipton tea bag in there.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Mike.
everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Good night, Ghost Dragons. I'll talk to you later. All right, guys, it's the usual. Check out the description box for ways to donate to the channel, PayPal, Cash App, join my Patreon. The links to my books are in there. And on Monday, there's something about Sasquatch where I go through a whole bunch of different stuff about the big guy himself. Mwah, I love you all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Zerg. Thank you, everybody. I do feel like tonight was really informative. I hope you guys got something out of it. I hope everyone took something away like I always do. But I liked this format tonight where we kind of all brought something to the table. We all discussed, and we're definitely going to do that again. We'll talk more about it. The big-footed dude, yes. All right, good night, guys. Bye.